Welcome to Trail Talk here on LTTV. I'm Chris Forde. I'm the Director of Marketing for Illinois Eastern Community Colleges and Lincoln Trail College. And joining me is Dr. Zahi Atallah, the President here at Lincoln Trail College. Zahi, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
I'm good, thank you. Well, Zahi, last week we started our series on Community College Month. April is Community College Month. We're celebrating. And what we're going to do this week is have a special guest.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to Mr. Bill Sandiford, who is the Vice President of the local First Robinson Savings Bank, a leader in our community, a leader within the LTC Foundation, a leader within the Crawford County Recreational Center, the President of the Board of Trustees at the School District of Robinson. Needless to say, he's a very accomplished person, and he happens to be an alumnus of our institution. I'm hoping, and I'm actually pretty sure, that it's going to be a great conversation with him because he's a big apostle of what we do here at the college.
Right, and the whole idea is we're going to be, over the next few weeks, talking to different people who have had their lives touched by Lincoln Trail College and community colleges.
Yes. Again, it's not a celebration of anything but the forgotten opportunities that community colleges offer nationwide. And we're exemplifying it by what Lincoln Trail has offered to our community for the last 53 years. It's been a member of this Crawford County community.
So Bill Sandiford is our first guest.
Let's go and listen to what he has to tell us.
All right, we're joined now by Bill Sandiford with First Robinson Savings Bank. Bill, how are you doing today?
Great, thanks, Chris. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Well, Bill, it's Community College Month, and we want to talk a little bit about what community colleges have meant to you personally. And to start off, Bill, talk a little bit about how you ended up at Lincoln Trail College as a student.
That's a great question. And I would love to give you a really great answer. But the bottom line is that I really didn't think that I was smart enough to go to college when I was in high school back in the early 1930s. Lincoln, all my friends left and went to University of Illinois or wherever. I didn't have anything to do. So I signed up for classes because I need people. I mean, I'm not real good by myself. So I signed up for general business classes at Lincoln Trail, and it's outside of flunking a math class in high school. It is by far the best thing that's ever happened to me educationally in my life.
So when you say you joined us because of the social opportunities and the social pressures, but I mean, looking at you today, so many years after your decision, you're a successful vice president of the largest regional bank. You've raised successful children. You're a leader in our community. Really, there's more to your interactions at Lincoln Trail than just the social elements, aren't there?
No, I don't think so. And I appreciate your comments. I'm humbled by that. But it's not that I've ever lacked ego. But you need to understand that when I was growing up as a child, I had great parents, but me going away to college was never discussed. It was just not a priority. I have an older sister that didn't go until much later in life. There was no guiding force educationally for me in high school. So I really went to try to find out what else was out there in the world. I know it's something we discuss here locally in the meetings that I get to have with you two folks, as well as on the local school district. So many of our kids in high school don't know what they don't know. They don't have any idea what's going on in the world. As a senior in high school, I had never been north of Champaign, Illinois. I had never been farther west than St. Louis. Indianapolis, to me, mentally was an all-day drive. I just lived in such a small community that I didn't know what opportunities there were. So the chance to get to go to the next step, a junior college that would help focus me on where I wanted to go, was the best thing that's happened to me.
So, Bill, talk about some of the specific things that did kind of help open your eyes to the possibilities.
When I signed up initially for general business classes, the very first Friday night of school, there was a Petro Tech party south of Robinson. So being the social butterfly that I am or was, I went to the party. Monday morning, I went in and changed my major from general studies to Petro Tech because that's where all the cool guys were at. So the two fellows that ran that program were Ed McKay and Bill Bennett. And I remember the first few days in class, Bill and Ed both talking about make sure you have a suitcase packed. It's going to be great to be able to see the world on somebody else's checkbook and all of the opportunities. And they sold me on that vision of that it's a big world and that even a kid from Oblong, Illinois would have the opportunity to follow that path. And that's really what got me started. I went to Lincoln Trail in between my freshman and sophomore years. I worked in Oklahoma City, graduated, and worked in Russell, Kansas, which is not the end of the world, but it's within sight of the end of the world. Was accepted at the University of Tulsa and then had some family issues and didn't go. But I wouldn't be anywhere close to where I am today without Lincoln Trail. And I believe that we have so many kids, especially in the last couple of years with that some kind of a virus out there, that maybe aren't lost, but they don't know what they don't know. They don't see the opportunities. And Lincoln Trail is such a great opportunity, such a great segue for those kids to try to find themselves.
So in your current position as the president of the board of the local school district, how would you emphasize to students that success can be gotten through a community college, through the local community college in Lincoln Trail in this situation?
I think there are a couple thoughts with kids today, and I'm a little out of touch with those, but there are still the kids like I was that didn't really know what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, how I was going to get there. And there are the kids that do know. My youngest son from birth until today was going to be a chemical engineer, never really worried about him. And those kids are in this environment as well. But it's the kids that we need to reach out to that don't have that pathway yet and try to help kickstart that career for them. And I don't think I was any different. My class was any different back then as they are today. Maybe some shift, but I still believe in, and I'll use the Robinson School District, there are a third of those kids, maybe half, don't really have a clear idea what they want to do.
Bill, do you think you'd be where you are today without Lincoln Trail College?
No. You want me to think longer about that? No, I absolutely would not have been. Again, to me, for somebody that really was never pushed, and that's not a statement that my parents were bad, they were great parents. It was just never any discussion about what I was going to do at age 19 or 30 or 40 or whatever. We just never really talked about that. So the opportunity to get out and be in the middle of 200, 300 young adults my age and my situation and learning about their experiences and their opportunities was the perfect prescription at the perfect time for me. And I still have a lot of those relationships to date that we stay in touch with, that those relationships were cemented in place 40 years ago.
The brethren that was created at the local community college. So, Bill, if you don't mind, if you were to speak to current day youth who are interested in higher education, who know that their path to success will take them to an institution of higher education, would you recommend Lincoln Trail? And if so, why? And what would be the message that you would provide those youth?
Yes, and I went through that with my youngest son, who convinced me that Missouri Science and Technology for 4 years was cheaper than Lincoln Trail for 2 years, and then Missouri for 2 years. He's smarter than his dad, and that's what we went with, was 4 at Rolla. But I don't know, and you two fellows have much better feeling for what the numbers are. How many kids go to pick a 4-year school? It doesn't matter if it's MIT or Harvard or Indiana State. how many of those kids get lost in the system, wash out, and have to kind of start from scratch again? The advantage I had was I had no interest in going to University of Illinois at the time. So I'm sure that there are kids, large numbers maybe, that think they want to be a chemical engineer, and they leave and they get there and figure out, this is not what I thought it was going to be. Now what do I do? So I think it will always be a great opportunity. But to you, we have to continue to challenge those high school kids and those kids that come back after they've been at a University of Illinois for a semester or a year or whatever. Challenge them and help rekindle that fire in them. And as you and I have talked several times, maybe the downside to a junior college sometimes is we have to be aggressive in our thinking. You have to have the ability to look 2, 4, 6 years down the road when you're putting degrees together. We can't wait until that curve has passed us. We have to be proactively thinking on studies, degree work.
Bill, we're starting to run short on time here today. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, I mean, for anybody that would happen to listen to this that has no life like I didn't, Lincoln Trail College is a great destination. And to me, again, one of the best things is it gave me confidence, gave me the ability to get in front of people, defined where I wanted to do. I'm happy staying here. This is my home. I can never repay what this community has done for me or Lincoln Trail. That will never happen. Can't put enough back in the glass.
Well, Bill,
and Lincoln Trail is very grateful to you for all you do.
Absolutely.
Good to be able to help.
And Bill, we'd like to thank you for joining us today, and thank you for your continued advocacy of Lincoln Trail College as well here on Trail Talk.
Hey, no problem. Thanks, guys.
That was a wonderful conversation with Bill Sandiford. I think, what a wonderful person and what a wonderful example of what Lincoln Trail has done.
Right. You talk about the ways that community colleges can transform lives. And I think as Bill told his story about Lincoln Trail College, you definitely see how a community college can transform somebody's life and propel them to really good things in the community.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's not just the lives of individuals, it's transforming a community. So this is what we're celebrating this month, what we've helped individuals do to achieve success, and how we have been and will continue to be integral to the development of our community.
We're talking about Community College Month all month long here on Trail Talk on LTTV. We talked to Bill Sandiford. This week we'll have more guests over the next weeks as well. If you enjoyed this video, be sure and like this video, ring the bell to get notifications. It also helps to make sure that other people see our channel as well. Also, like us on our other social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're also on LinkedIn as well. So if you've had an experience and you want to use us professionally, there's the opportunity there as well. So for Dr. Zahi Atallah, I'm Chris Forde. We'll see you next week on Trail Talk on LTTV.